if you're watching this or if you're listening to it, this is an interview with Tim Dove, who is one of, I guess, for the lack of a better term, masters of branding or rebranding here in New Zealand. Has worked with massive brands, but has also worked with your small to medium enterprise. And he has been doing it for how many years now, Tim?
Well, it's 25 odd since I left university, and I've kind of really done that. So it's been a while now,
Wow.
2.5 decades.
And I'm doing my best here to not give everything away, because the first segment of this little interview is Tim's elevator pitch, which he is great at. Right, Tim? Am I setting you up here?
Setting me up for failure, thanks, mate. Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. So, Tim, tell us about Rebrand in 11 seconds.
11 seconds, right, let's go. Rebrand is an evidence-led branding agency. And so that means we're not just designers, we're all about delivering an ROI to businesses through their brand. And so we have an evidence-led process. So it means we go and do a lot of research, distill that into a powerful strategy, and then our creatives finally get their hands on it to help tell those stories that a brand needs to tell beautifully. So yeah, we're based in New Zealand, been around for 25 years, worked from government down to small and SMEs, like you say, across New Zealand and the globe, really.
After 25 years, surely Rebrand has evolved as such. You have evolved as well as the leader of it. What would you say absolutely sets Rebrand apart from, within the industry, or apart from other agencies that do the same stuff or do something adjacent?
I'm probably going to use a word a lot today and bore you to death with it, but being the evidence-led aspect is so intrinsic and critical to our business and our process, and that is unique. And so other branding agencies do evidence gathering for sure, but then if you take that a rung back down in terms of design companies, they're focused on logos, as it were. So they might do a few little things, but not really getting into the depth of evidence that we would, that leads our whole process. And so it is unique. And another unique aspect to it is we do it internally. And so we conduct the research ourselves. We're not farming it out, getting externals to kind of do it and giving us a top-line report. We're there asking the questions, understanding the kind of the perceptions, the blockers, the feelings that some of our clients, customers have, for instance. And so that is unique. And it's unique in the way that it just allows certainty, reassurance of a branding process, which people often will find a bit daunting and unknown. Secondly, naming. Brand naming we do a truckload of. We are the highly awarded. And so we've won the Gold Award in Australasia for kind of the biggest naming awards we can find. And we've won the Gold 5 of the last 6 years. And so what we've got is the people, the process around how to generate and navigate a brand naming process, in particular, extremely well. And so a lot of agencies can't do that from what I speak to. It's kind of just throwing names on a board and seeing what sticks with a client, right? And so that's something that we're very, very good at. And lastly, I'd almost say what sets us apart is just, we all say this one, right? But the team. And I say the team in terms of we don't really have juniors. So our youngest, most inexperienced person has 15 years marketing experience, a guru in marketing, handling millions of dollars of marketing budgets per year in some of her roles. And so, you don't kind of get all the waving hands up front and the song and dance just for some juniors out the back to be doing the work. So therefore, we're an experienced team who know how to deliver and solve and have seen before the problems that most brands face. That's how I think we're
Look, you seem to have covered value proposition and what sets you apart, but let's get a little mushy, as if that's if that's allowed.
Totally.
No, not mushy, but more I guess poetic. You know what I mean? Like, given that is what makes you strong, and that's what sets you apart. What are the, I guess, underpinning kind of values that drive those, or if not values, maybe principles that drive those? I mean, it has had to have been a decision to be that, or to do it that way. So what drove you there?
Yeah, totally. And just to wind it back a bit, I mean, we used to be a design company. For probably 18 of our 25 years, we were just another design company that had done a lot of branding. And so we had to sort of hold the mirror up to ourselves and do the work that we do for our clients, which was always difficult, and say, actually, we need to, niche down. We need to tell our story properly. We need to call ourselves what we do and actually try and own what we call the high ground. And so branding is what we argue is the high ground. And then you can kind of get all the execution and bits out of the back of it. And so therefore, when we went through that process, we asked these questions, who are we? What are we? What do we stand for? What do we value? And we did come up with not sort of your values that you put up on the wall about transparency and being honest and all that rubbish. Actually, we had three others, and we've got four, actually. I'm going to speak to three of them. And so the first one will come as no surprise, is that brand is evidence-led. And so that underpins our process, that every decision we make, be it strategic, naming, brand architecture, messaging, creative, execution, we want to pin it back to evidence-led. And so that is a mantra that we can challenge each other on around the office, saying, well, where's this insight come from? Where is this decision? How is it being made? What's it being based upon? And so that is a great foundation for us to interact internally, but equally how to deliver results to clients with that mantra, right? So that was the first one. I told you you're going to get sick of that one. Secondly, is that brand is a business process. This is the differentiator to the creative companies, the design companies who kind of have a workshop, get into logo design. Let's modernize the identity. And so for us, that is not how you deliver maximum ROI and the business part of that business process to our clients. And so we know when we try and triple sales for clients and whatever, it's because we've ticked all the boxes along the process and kind of understood the ecosystem that they work in so well that we're going to create success for them against the competitors, with how they resonate with their customers and so forth. So it's a business process, and so we're business minded. We're not creatives trying to dream up creative work and do ad campaigns. And so for us, branding is a business process. And lastly, it's probably overused these days actually, but when we added it in, maybe it wasn't, but brand is not a logo. And so we don't start at a logo. It's not about just, that final piece, that mark that you're going to use. Yes, it's important, but so many aspects of a brand are important. Every aspect of a brand is important. And so we want to make sure that the name, the positioning, that strategy, how we're actually going to position you in the mind of your market is one of the most important things. But naming, architecture, messaging, look and feel, typography, colors, fonts, whatever, you name it, how you go and execute and market is all important. And equally so is a logo. And so most people start there. And particularly maybe that's more for clients, because they come to us with a mindset of, hey, I need a new logo, right? And it's just a chance for us to say, well, look, our value, core belief is actually brand is not just a logo. It is this. And we get to engage with them and educate them and speak to them on this kind of process. So those were kind of three, that came to mind.
Those are quite cool.
Thanks.
I mean, certainly not a product of someone just reading a book and writing stuff down. It seems to have been developed over time. And I always say anyway, when you have core values or core principles in an organization, it's not that you are that already. It's what it's a moving target, as well as you try to live it up every day. And I think that's what makes business. So of course, in saying your principles and what sets you apart, what would you say are there packages, or is there like a medium of how you offer the work, or like what are the offers that you currently have? This is your shameless plug moment, by the way. This is the moment you need to seize here, Tim.
Shameless plug. All right. We do. I mean, so we have they're not packages and set out, because what we actually equally do is we have our big process, and then we tailor it to people's time they've got, their budget they've got, their desires they've got to go around it, how much the boss is looking to sign off and be engaged with and so forth. So we kind of then just shape it to include or exclude whatever elements we think we need to answer those pieces of evidence we're trying to find, but equally just deliver an outcome without overshooting time and budgets and so forth. So it just chops and changes how much we do of those tasks through a process. So it's not like package A, B, and C, small, medium, large, because it is bespoke. It is tailored. The only packages that kind of come to mind really are a startup package, where we do have to go, startups are done on the smell of an oily rag, shoestring budgets. And so we kind of go for discovery workshop, small amount of distillation of their strategy, And so we are excluding some evidence because we use them as the single source of truth. We say, they are the source of truth,
Yeah.
and then get into that kind of identity. So it's kind of almost more the traditional model of branding,
Hmm.
because we can't afford to go and do all the evidence and a big strategy piece and architecture and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. So that'd be kind of one. The second part is kind of the naming jobs that we do as well. And so that can be part of a bigger process as a task, or it can be a task unto itself, a process unto itself. And again, like a lot of different to other agencies, is we don't start with naming. Like with branding, we don't start with a logo. We actually have a process that we inform the areas and territory of naming that we're strategically trying to convey. And so, again, that's how we know we can generate great results, because we all know that every time a client starts a business or got a new product or service or whatever, the first thing they try and do is dream up a name. And we have so many people coming to us, like, a guy I'm thinking of, a case study, for 6 months he'd been trying to resolve or get his name to his new business. He thinks about it, his wife thinks about it, he asks the kids, he asks his family, he just gets a longer, shittier list. And we solved in 2 weeks what he couldn't in 6 months.
Oh, wonderful.
And that was just super cool, right? And so, but it is part of a process and a package.
Okay, cool. So I guess, it would it make sense to ask, like, where would one start? Because actually you answered it. Where one starts with Rebrand is dependent on where they're actually at. Because then if I'm a business that's established like 15 years, 20 years, it's a different conversation versus
Totally.
if I'm a startup and I'm dreaming up a product and I'm like, hey, this is all I can afford, or even if they have a budget, actually there isn't much to source yet. Like there isn't like a track record except for the industry, assuming that they're not blazing a new trail and the industry is
Yeah.
existing, then you can research. But you know
Yeah. Yeah.
so
We've got
yeah.
startups to clients. We've got 3 clients that we've rebranded who are over, 2 of them are over 100, they're 140 years old. The third one's over 100 years old, right?
Wow.
And so you cannot approach that the same way you will with a startup. So it is, you've got to meet the client where they're at. And And again, at their bigger end, the older end, they want reassurance. They've been around for so long, got so much brand mana and respect and trust. They don't want to throw that out, the baby out with the bathwater. So they want a reassuring process, and therefore an evidence lead one is the way to answer that kind of question. Startup at the other end of the spectrum, they just want to get to market, right? They just need to get to market with a name and a brand and get some traction on the board. Because honestly, they don't even know if their idea is going to work yet. And so they can't overinvest. They don't want to go on navel gaze for too long, because they just need to get to market. And so that's why that package is kind of tailored to that, because it's efficient in budget and time to allow that, to meet them where they are at.
We've spoken a couple times about a couple mechanisms that you guys devised, and it's actually free and available on the website, which are like brand health, or like an audit piece, right? So can we talk about that a little bit? What would I get out of it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the brand health check, free, awesome little service, a thing that we built on the website, rebrand.co.nz. So you jump on there, you'll find the brand health check, and basically it's 5 questions on 5 areas of your business. And so think of marketing, think of competitors, think of brand, think of these things. And so you just have got to be real with yourself, and it's just a 0 to 10 sliders for each. So really simple, really friendly. And out of the back of that, what you're going to get is a free automated report that says, look, here's how you scored. And from how we've built it, these are the things you should go and do. If you're low here or here, go and do these things. So it's kind of it's trying to be as helpful as possible for people to not have to invest if they don't want to. Say, this is where we've identified we've got some work to do. They've told us what to go and do. We could kind of go and do that ourselves. And so, but what we find the biggest benefit of it is actually just self-reflection. Just having that time to work on your business and sort of think, actually, I haven't thought about that. Right. And when they start changing themselves, they go, actually, we've got a bit of a weak point there. And so how do we go and deal with it? Do we do it ourselves? Do we get somebody in? That might be us. It could be somebody else. So really, really great tool. Yep, really great tool. Highly used as well, especially over COVID times. It was pumped by some of the agencies, government agencies, to help business, and that was getting a lot of hits. These days, less so. So the brand audit is a thing that we offer around brand assessment, and so this is just a great foot in the door of actually where are we at. So we ask a couple of pointed strategic questions, and then we gather all of the material that we can for a client, branded or unbranded, internal or external, digital or print or whatever, and collate it and assess it from the point of view of your brand positioning and your target audience sort of resonance. And so out of the back of that, there's a sort of PDF report and presentation that identifies the areas of strength, the weakness, things we need to evolve, and the things we need to get rid of. So it's just a good, again, starting point to dip the toe in and sort of see where are we at, where do we maybe need to go.
Well, I think certainly there's tons of benefit in doing it, and it's out there for people to actually use. And again, like what you said, self-reflection, even just that. Sometimes our thoughts need to get facilitated for us to glean something useful from it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just all like kind of swimming around in our head, right?
Yeah.
But like 5 years of doing this, Tim, and I'll ask you this question that every founder gets asked anyway, because this video is kind of like a profile video. It's going to be under a series called Mission Control. And you're profiling you and your business, of course, like what you're doing. And so it's different when I ask you this question, you're in your first year versus when you're in your 25 years now. Why are you doing? I guess I'd say, why are you still doing what you are doing? Because it is a question that gets wrapped by everything that we just talked about.
Yeah, totally. And honestly, in New Zealand right now, is recessionary, and it is difficult in the market right now. And so sometimes you do ask yourself a question, going, "Man, why am I doing this?" But the beauty is I just love it. I'm one of those people that kind of I did a BA design and a BCom marketing at university 25 years ago. And I went straight into the design world, led into branding. But the overlap of design and marketing is kind of business and strategy and creativity. And so I've kind of been one of those people that's been so lucky to kind of just study what interests me, go down that path, and kind of just have stayed on that path. I haven't sort of been the lost soul searching for what drives me, what am I passionate about, what motivates me. And so I just love branding, and I love in particular and naming as well. Those two elements just light my fire. And so I'm so fortunate to have that and not be searching, as I say. And I think what keeps me interested, is that it's actually hard. It's really hard, to distill a business in a brand or a name down to one word, a short, memorable, catchy, punchy word, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And kind of, when you sort of say that mindset, especially in the startup world, people come to us and they've got 10,000 ideas and they just can't cut through the clutter of what is right. And that case study of the guy who couldn't dream up a name for his business for 6 months was exactly that. He had no sort of angle to market. And so the fact we're able to sort of distill that down, give them a point of difference, a position to market, here's a name that's going to suit that and get them on their way is difficult. And the challenge is what I love. You might know I like doing difficult things, Tommy. But yeah.
You just run an ultra marathon, like 120, 102, or was it?
Only 107. Yeah, I won't take the 20. Yeah, 107.
Dropping the mic right in the middle of the interview. Okay, I see how it is.
Slowly, yeah. But so it's cool. So again, I just feel so blessed that I don't feel like coming to work as a job. It's a place I love to come, and again, I'm fortunate that the founders of our company, I didn't start it. I've just been able to pick up and take on and pick up the mantle and lead it on to where it is now. So I've had a great foundation, great directors who are still involved with the company. So I'm very lucky, very lucky.
Oh man, that's a really, really good answer. Like I see that in you, and being in the same industry, you ask a question a lot, but at the same time you answer it a lot as well. Like, why am I still doing this? And you're like, because right, I really, really enjoy doing it, and it's really awesome. To a degree, branding is it's like a tattoo kind of situation where the canvas that you're using is alive, and it just kind of, you see what you come up with in your mind, and you see it come to life, and you're like, man, that's real. And you see it in the store, or you see it on the billboard, you see it on an app, or wherever it goes. So I'm curious, since you do the brand and then everything else that cascades down that, tell me about that. Do you do sites? Do you do campaigns? Do you do any of the other pieces that a brand would need?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we're brand centric, hence the name Rebrand. We're very much branding is our entry point to business. New Zealand is small. Clients want to deal with one person. They don't want 10 agencies to try and interact with. So they are also looking for a partner that can help them understand their brand, but equally, help us execute. And so all of that standard traditional design, 100%. Then we have a developer in house, so we can go and do all of our web work as well. So we design and build those websites internally, which is great. And we do some campaigns for clients. We do some marketing campaigns and strategy for our clients. But I guess a way to answer that is we're not an advertising company, so we're not big into going and doing ad campaigns. We're not kind of going to post your stuff on or our client stuff on social, right? We don't want to get to that level. We're more strategic. We're kind of more higher serving than that, and there's just cheaper, more efficient people to do it. And so. We try and help wherever we can. We're a service-based business, and I'm a over-delivering kind of guy, and try to be anyway. And I'm trying to make clients happy. So if they ask me to do it, if we can, I'll bend over backwards to try.
Well, okay. Here's my wrap-up question for you. What's next for Rebrand? Should we talk about rename? Is that something that we can talk about? Or feel free to tell me. Whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, Rebrand is on a kind of organic growth. We're getting kind of bigger projects, bigger awareness and more people reaching out. So that's great. So that's just kind of more of the organic growth that we'll do all sorts of activity around. But there's no sort of plans to expand internationally. You'd just be fighting against Aussie agencies on the East Coast at the same game. So that'll be probably New Zealand based, yet we work globally with various clients already. I guess the big play for us is in the naming space. And so we're going to actually replicate our naming process and the team in a separate business. And that'll be solely focused internationally, kind of based or aligned around brand naming, brand, product, service, whatever. And so that will be where we try and get traction internationally, certainly East Coast Aussie, through America. And so we're already developing it, got it underway. Process and whatnot, of course, and having those conversations with agency. And so it'll be a model that can go direct to agency, and they can refer to us because that company will have no creatives. We're never going to steal their thunder or their client because they'll hand us over for one part of the project, deliver us a name. We do that and we hand it back and say they go and then execute all the rest of the brand and campaigns. So that's a very nice synergy, and we've found they're really keen on that. But equally, clients can come direct. And we can do that process and then refer to partners. And so be it either local partners in Aussie, let's say, or they could partner with our sister company, Rebrand. So maybe that'll get some growth there as well. But it's not the main driver of it. We'd love to just be kicking work back to agencies and having this really lovely agency type of relationship, really. So that's the big play. Super exciting, kind of a shining thing that's out there that you got to focus on your business and just the standard operating whilst trying to grow that thing as well. So, but it certainly lit my fire last year and will this year as well.
Thrive in 25. But no, let's not say that. Thrive in 25. God,
the
cliches, man. They don't stop. But awesome, dude. Like, I think we did it really well. You did it really well. I think we're good. We will then...
You didn't ask me the purpose question.
Yes, I'm going to ask that now. I didn't want to ruin it was such a good flow about rebrand, rename, etc. And then, I didn't want your mind to shift into like, you know what I mean? We'll just put it here at the end, easier to cut it anyways. Here's the question. Purpose, what do you do with them? How's the experience like? And what would you say if somebody asked? And stuff.
No, Purpose have been great. They really have. So they are an agency that helps agencies, and so in agency life, it is up and down. There's no sort of just smooth weeks and days and months, and so we're a small team, and so being able to rely on another agency that is uber talented, got really high professionals in it that have got clear communication, timely communication as well, and can deliver and plug into our agency however we need. Be it, we've got too many websites to build. Can you guys build one for us? Be it, hey, we've got a campaign that we can't manage because, again, we're too busy or whatever, or you've got more expertise than us in this area. So, or we're just not our area of focus. So being able to plug into somebody and know that they've got your back, they're uber reliable, you can totally count on them, cost effective, then it's kind of a no-brainer, right? It's just a nice way for agencies to be able to scale and take some stress off their plate, actually, without trying to do it all yourself and get people into your office, get contractors in and whatnot, where it's one phone call, Tommy and Angel, got you sorted.
Wonderful. Cool, man. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure.